Hello guys, welcome to this session. We'll be covering plugin about eMOBIQ. Okay, let's talk about plugin first before we dive into the code itself and to show you how it works in the platform. Okay, so what is plugin? eMOBIQ plugin actually is a way for you to do your own functions, components, and third-party plugin. It's quite straightforward. It enables developers who want to do their own codes and put it in the platform itself. So over here, you'll see that we have a link for it. It's called service.emobiq.com. Let's go there just to show you how it looks like. So if you can see in the screen right now, you just need to have an account. As long as you use eMOBIQ, you need to send a request and we'll enable this feature for you. Okay, so everything that you need to know about on even the step to create a simple plugin is already here, but we'll be covering it quickly so that you can at least see how it really works. But I won't be doing it from scratch, rather I'll just show you and explain it to you. Okay, I won't go through this one by one. I'll just jump in and show it to you. Okay, before that, let's start with the function first. How do we create our own functions in the platform? But before all of this, right, what do we need? We need to have a Node installed in your laptop or the machine that you'll be working on, and you need to have a terminal as well. So for me, I'll be using Visual Studio, and if you actually see, I already have an existing package, but I'm going to show you how to create from scratch. So what you just need to do is actually create a new folder and put the name of that function or plugin that you want to use. Example, hello function. Okay, so you just need to go to your terminal, go inside the hello function. Okay, and then after that, you need to type eMOBIQ, and you'll see that we have the CLI. So this is the eMOBIQ CLI. How do we install that is also explained over here. You just need to go through this. Once you have installed it, you're able to do what I'm doing right now. You can also check the version, which is currently it's version 1. So plugin is quite new and it's exciting that we are able to do this now. Okay, so what you need to do first is to log in. Then just enter your credentials and I'm logged in. So what I need to do now is just to eMOBIQ init. So it's a way to tell the system to initialize a newly plugin package locally. Later I'll show you how we publish it. So we can just say init. Sorry, we need to type eMOBIQ plugin init and just put the package name example. I'll just say use the same as what I have name for the folder. So just hello function, a function to say hello. These are just a keyword. Maybe you can just say hello function and more. Done. So if you'll notice, what would happen is inside the folder, it will create the files and the folders that is needed for you to start off. So you'll see the eMOBIQ JSON. eMOBIQ JSON would contain like the details. Example, who is the creator, what is the current version, and at the same time, all the editor, preview, and app. This I'll explain later. If you also see inside, there would be a platform folder created which have client common inside and also a Cordova folder inside. So if you'll notice, all these are actually mapped towards this eMOBIQ JSON. It will identify what do you want to import to the system. So editor, what is editor? Editor is everything that you need to put inside the eMOBIQ editor itself. So if you go here, you'll see like a new component over here or a function over here. That's what allows it. Second is a preview. Preview is the logic that you need to do so that when you click preview, it will appear as expected. Next is the Cordova codes. So first is in the app. So what is the app? It contains the pre-built code that will be installed in your mobile app. So why do we separate the preview and the app? It's because preview, we don't support like native devices capability, so you should not do that inside the preview code. But inside the app code, you should do it so that when you install it in the application, you'll see it working. Finally, the plugin. So this is where you do third-party plugin, such as this, which I'll be using later, wherein it allows you to access the native capability. I won't be covering how to create Cordova plugins. It's something that you can learn after this if you want to really custom made your own codes. Right. So far right now, our EMSM just support Cordova, but in the future we'll be supporting the React Native as well. Okay, enough of explaining everything. Let me just show you an existing one, which is called Kevin Sample Plugin. Let me just delete this example that I just wanted to show you. And here you go. Let me just open a new terminal. Okay, so let me just go inside the production and go to the project. So I already have an existing one, but I'll just modify it so that you can see. Currently the version is 1.01. These are all the details that is there. And we already have the code, so let's just go through quickly. So in the editor, I'll be creating one function and one component. So you'll notice I created a Kevin function. I also created a Kevin label. These are like parameters that you expect for the function. These are the additional parameters that you want to see as well for the components. We can also put the default values such as width. We want it to be 50%. Okay, that's it for the editor. Let's go through the preview. In the preview, we just created a Kevin function to be triggered. So this one should be based on the name that you created in the editor. And over here, you'll see hello, which just called the parameter value, which is actually, if you remember, in the index, we actually pass a value. So it will just say hello to that value. And at the same time, we also created the component. So here, there's a structure for it. It's just allowing you to create an element. Then over here, you'll notice you just need to create the HTML that would generate that component. So as you can see, it's quite flexible. Here you can also see that we enabled new events. If you notice in the index, we also created the events called tab. And that's why we did this. Later in the platform, I'll show you what is this for. Again, all of these things that I'm explaining is actually already explained in the homepage of eMOBIQ Service Manager. You can just go through it. I'm just running through so that at least there's a summary explanation for this. Okay, then inside the Cordova, let's go through. What's the difference? If you notice, it's almost the same as the preview. The only difference is we enable the plugin. So if we go here, first of all, we need to install this plugin in the Cordova project. So if you go to the plugin, go to the index.json, you'll be able to see this. So you can add as much plugin as you want. So over here, we just need to copy this and put it over here, right? So by then, we are already telling that platform, I need this plugin. Okay, so next is how do we use this plugin? We can just run through over here. And if I open the preview, you'll notice I created the navigator, that notification, that alert. If you notice, it's a function by the plugin itself. So I just needed to enable that, and later we'll see it working in the mobile application that we're going to create. So that's it. So let's just do some changes because you might say, okay, it's already an existing one. So I'll just say hello to you. Yeah, it's just saying hello to you, then the value that is passed. Okay, right? So what we need to do now is make sure we save the platform. And the first thing that we need to do is called eMOBIQ plugin test to make sure that everything that you have done is working. And you'll notice it's successful, means we are doing initial checking to make sure that the platform doesn't crash. So next is we're done with that. So we just want to say, okay, I want to patch this. Oh, we need to add the version. and patch to increase the patch version. So remember it's 1.0.1. So if I do this, it will increase to 1.0.2. So if I go to eMOBIQ it updated the version as well. So we're almost done. We just need to push the changes to the service. Right, so eMOBIQ plugin publish. If you notice, it will do our final test and push it through. So how do I know if it's inside? So currently our plugin is just private or within this company users. Right? So in my account, if I'm logged in, I can just open to my account and I'll see the plugin that I created and which version I have. Okay, so we're done with the code stuff. So let's now see it in action in the platform. Now the plugin that we have created. So if we go to the components over here, then we'll see the plugin. It's an empty component. And if we go to action, let's try to look for the function that we created. We are not able to find it as well. So next, what do we need to do to add that is we just need to go to the global configuration. Over there, you'll see the plugins. Let's just go to the plugins, click on the input box, then you'll see the available plugins that you have created. So again, as a reminder, the plugins that we do is only applicable for your account or the people within your company. Right, so I'll just select the one I just created and that's it. So let's go back to the home page, and if we hover over the plugin, we'll be seeing the component that we just created. So let's just drag it in the screen. Right, so we are able to see that we have the component that we created. Now we also added the tap event. If you remember, over the editor JSON or the file that we created earlier, you'll be seeing the tap. Maybe let's just open that to show it to you. So go to the common in the editor in the index.json, then we'll be able to see that in the events we enable the tap. And in the application, we also enable that by creating this line of codes that upon on click, it will trigger this. So let's do that. So on top of this component, we'll be using the function that we created. So let's type the Kevin function. Then over there, you'll see that the function is now there in the list. So let's just drag it over. Okay. So what do we expect later is when we build it in the application, it will be showing the model dialog of the native app. But for the preview, we won't be seeing it. So we also have a callback feature that we created in the code. So let's just info dialog and just drag it over, and we'll be able to see that there's a callback. So we just call it in. Inside the info dialog, we'll just call the input, which is actually the entered value by the function. So let's go to the function. We can just say J and let's save it. Okay, before we test it out, to save time, we'll just quickly build the application so that later I can show you how it works. Let's just build a development and call it just an Android and let it run. So while building, let's test now in the preview. Let's click preview. And then we'll be seeing the component over there that we created. So the name is just Kevin Label Plugin as the code says. And let's just tap on it and we'll be seeing Hello Jane. Okay. So if we look at the feature that we created, we are now able to see the function, right? So next that we need to do is to test it in the mobile app. So right now it's still building, but let's prepare the phone itself. So let me just connect and give me a second. Okay, and let's call Visor. Okay, that's enabled, and now we're able to see a real. So this is just connecting to the phone that I have with me right now. It's an Android. So let's see. It's still building, but we'll be testing it out soon. So let me just open the scanner so that we can scan the application. Okay, so when we implement it, it's just as simple as this. And if you need to update again, you just need to follow the same process that we just have shown you. Okay, it's still building. Let's wait for a while. Okay, it's taking some time. Let's wait a bit. Okay, it looks like it's done. So what we can do now is just click on the download. Since we build a development, we can just click on the development. And since we only build for Android, we can only see Android. So now let me just scan and show you in the visor to show you that it works. So I'll just download it, open the file, install it, open it. Over there, we'll see the component that we just created. So if I tap on it, I'll be seeing hello to you, Jane. Okay, so if you notice, this is the change that we did. I think that's it. So if you notice, this is the notification that is really a native notification. Obviously, it's too simple, but you can just play around with other plugins. You'll see here, it's hello to you, Jane, but when we tested here earlier, it happens that it's just say hello, Jane. So let's just review what we did to highlight to you. So because over here in the application, we change it to hello to you, right? So that's why it's hello to you, Jane. If we look at the preview and in the index, we didn't update it. So it's just going to say hello, Jane, right? So this is important to take note. Wanted you to notice that as well. So that next time you know that when you apply things in the preview, remember that the app should be updated as well. You don't need to really separate it if you're not using Cordova. So you can just use one and make sure in the eMOBIQ JSON, you can just say editor and preview have the same path. Right? So, sorry, preview and app have the same path. Okay, that's it for this simple explanation about eMOBIQ plugin. Thanks for tuning in, guys.